Hello everybody, Boone Wyatt with the 323 Concept Furniture Restoration here. Today we are doing a three-part video series on uninstalling and reinstalling a power recliner mechanism. And this is obviously the first part video in that series. So in this video we are going to be uninstalling the mechanism. So without further ado, let's jump right in. As you see here, we have a broken mechanism and needs replacement. So this customer brought the recliner to us and they already had a new mechanism sent to them. It was in a unassembled manner. So the second part of the video series will be showing you how to assemble the mechanism, and then the third part will show you how to install it. So we're focusing on uninstalling. This one has a motor in it since it's powered, so we'll go through the steps of uninstalling that motor as well. So starting off, I like to use my 12-inch bit extension. This recliner is held in place by some bolts on each side, so I have my socket adapter in my socket that goes into my bit extender. Now yours may have Phillips head screws, in which case just get a Phillips bit and put it on your extension. But those extensions really come in handy. But as you see here on the side, your mechanism is always attached to the seat frame, and there's either going to be something like this, which is 2 bolts, or like I said, you may see some Phillips head screws, in which case there's usually anywhere from maybe 3 to 5 per side. It could be more than that, honestly, but you'll see a variation of such. So we're going to go ahead and plug in the recliner, and from here we're going to open the recliner to give us access to the bolts that hold the footrest on. So if you have a manual, just flip it open manually, but you'll need that open to get those bolts out. So the bolts that hold the mechanism in place on each side, there's actually going to be 2 on each side. I'll get to the other 2 here in a second, as you'll see, but I got distracted because I have ADD, so we're going to do the footrest real quick. As you see here, we just loosen those up. I could have taken off my bit extender, but I'm a little bit lazy sometimes, so I left it on there. So we're going to go ahead and uninstall the 2 bolts on each side here that hold your footrest in place. And that small little 1x2 that you see going from side to side, that is a stabilizer. Sort of helps prevent that scissor spring from bending when it's open. Doesn't always do a great job, but it's there nonetheless. So here we are back to what I was originally doing, which is taking the 2 bolts out of each side. So once you remove those are all the bolts. So now we're going to focus on removing your linear actuator, or I like to just call it a recliner motor. This one's a lot easier than most. Sometimes you have 2 bolts on each side holding it in. This one just has these little silver cotter pins that slide through and hold it in place into the brackets. So just grab a pair of pliers, pull that cotter pin out, and then hit the silver pin out, and it'll break loose for you. As you saw just a second ago, I also broke those wires loose using some pliers. There's more than likely going to be some zip ties holding that wiring to the frame. So once you get all that loose, you can pull your motor out of the way, and you should be able to just pull. Oh, I skipped a step. Lastly but not least, we're going to remove this metal frame. This is what your recliner sits on. The new mechanisms hardly ever come with those, so we're going to go ahead and remove it and set it aside until we get our new mechanism in there. But once you get those 4 bolts out of the way, that's really all there is to it. We just carefully sort of fold the mechanism back up and pull it out of the way, and from there we are ready to start assembling the new mechanism and installing it. So really hope this video brought some value to you and helped you in the process of uninstalling your mechanism. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. We always love to converse with y'all and help you out. And feel free to tune in for our next couple videos. Thank you.